guys, my name is Jen and this is my channel Embracing Chaos. If you're new here, thanks so much for stopping by. And if you are returning, thank you so much for coming back. I truly appreciate it. Please make sure you give me that thumbs up and comment down below. And please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Alright, so this is my weekly meal prep video. We have quite a few things that we're going to be making today. And these are some recipes that I've been looking forward to making for quite a while. The first one is my Big Mac snack wraps. And this is a modification of Christy over at Plainness Healthy's recipe for her Big Mac salad. I will link her website and her YouTube channel down below so that you guys can take a look at her Big Mac salad recipe. If I could eat it every week, I would. But it probably wouldn't be the most beneficial choice for me. So anyways, my snack wraps, like I said, were a modification of the recipe. I did type in the recipe on Recipe Builder on the WW app, and I came up with 2 points for blue, 3 points for green, and 2 points for purple. And if you see me looking down, I'm just looking at my notes here. I will be putting those on a Olay Wellness wrap for 1 point, and that is included in the points that I just gave you. The second thing that I'm going to be making is my breakfast, and it is also from Christy at Plainness Healthy, so make sure you go to her website and check out this recipe. It's also one of my favorites. It is called Chocolate Chip Pancake Bake. It is 4 points on all plans. I use 2 tablespoons of sugar-free syrup with mine, but if you want to use regular syrup or any other toppings, make sure you include those points. The next thing that I'm going to be making are my Airfryer Potatoes. I figured this would be a good alternative for me to use with my snack wraps instead of French fries. So I looked up this recipe on Pinterest. I don't really have anybody to link it to, so I will go ahead and include the recipe down in the comments. So if you guys want to make these, you can. And then the last thing that I'm going to be doing is a meal prep for Tuesday night when I'm at work. I'm making some crock pot buffalo pulled pork by Drizzle Me Skinny. There are 3 points on all plans. Each serving is 4 ounces. These points don't include any rolls or biscuits or anything that you would choose to put the pulled pork on. My family did get some of the Hawaiian buns that they're going to be using, and for myself, I haven't decided. Air fryer potatoes for blue are 2 points. Sorry, I just kicked my camera. Green is 2 points, and purple is 0. Anyways, let's get started and see what we come up with. Alright, so I'm going to get started making my chicken in the Instapot. We are doing chicken tacos, so I figured I would just Instapot this chicken, get it shredded, and add the taco seasoning. I've got 2 huge chicken breasts in there. Missed a little bit of fat on one of them, I see. I'll get that when it's done. With 1 cup of water. Okay, got that on. I've got my knob turned to sealing. I'm going to go ahead and hit pressure cook. Time, I'm going to leave it at 10 minutes. And how do I start it?
That's it.
And we will get that started. There we go. Alright guys, so chicken is done. I have pulled it out of the Instapot. I'm just going to take a fork and shred it up. Make sure you let it cool a little bit, which apparently I did not let it cool long enough. Hold on. Then I'm just going to use a fork to pull it apart. 10 minutes in the Instapot, guys. How awesome is that? Then I'm going to put it in my Ziploc baggie. I had to try that piece. That was required. I'm going to wipe this off just a little bit here. Clearly it's just a little bit. Alright. Now, I've got this taco seasoning that we got at Costco. I don't typically buy huge things of seasoning, but I am obsessed with this seasoning. It is so good. So good. So, I'm going to go ahead and add 3 tablespoons, I think, of this. Oh, it smells so good, guys. Go ahead and shake this up a little bit, see if I think I need to add some water. The chicken's still fairly moist from the Instant Pot, so I'm thinking we'll be okay. It does say to add water, but I don't think I need to, because like I said, it's still really moist. And look at that. Ugh, I can't wait. I've got some good food coming this week, guys. Yum. All right, and that is one of our meals ready, and we will just put these on some tortillas with some shredded lettuce, tomatoes, salsa, probably some Greek yogurt. I'll use the Greek yogurt. Kids will use the sour cream. And there you have it. Yum, yum. Okay, so now I am going to get everything set up in my crock pot for the pulled pork. Now, the recipe that I used from Drizzle Me Skinny did say to cut up the pork. However, I'm tired of cutting up meat because I cut up a bunch of chicken this morning, so I'm just going to put it in whole and then I'll shred it once it's done cooking. So what I have here to start out with, it calls for fat-free ranch. I went ahead and made the Greek yogurt with the ranch seasoning. So and I'm doubling the recipe. I have 1 cup of Greek yogurt and then I just add this to taste. I do like mine a little bit stronger. I'm going to use that. I'm going to get this put in the bowl. Alrighty. Then we are going to do, let me see, 1.5 cups of Frank's Red Hot Sauce. Ooh, that's a lot. There's 1/2 cup. And 1 cup. Oh my gosh, guys. Ava's gonna be so mad. I thought there would be some left. There is not. I guess I'll be going to the store to buy her some more hot sauce. Because she was so excited when I brought it home. Okay, and then it calls for 1 cup of barbecue sauce. Now, in the recipe, she did use Simple Girl Carolina sauce. But I'm going to use the sugar-free G. Hughes Hickory Smoked Barbecue Sauce. And that calls for 1 cup. There's just a little bit left in here, so I'm going to put this upside down so we can get the rest of it out. We'll mix this up. And it does call for a 2-pound pork tenderloin or shoulder. I only had 4-pound. I bought this a while ago just so we had meat in our freezer. So that's what I'm going to use, which is why I am doubling the recipe. Plus, as you all know, I've got teenagers, so I am sure that we will eat this, and we can probably freeze some for a later time too. That looks kind of pretty, doesn't it? Probably shouldn't stir it with a spatula, but you know. Oh, I made a mess. And then we'll put the rest of this in. Boy, that was a lot. I'm overwhelmed. There we go. Bottom of the container. Then we're going to add 6 crumbled pieces of center cut bacon, which is clearly it's cooked and crumbled. We're going to fold that into the sauce. Grab a paper towel to clean up my mess. Okay. Then we're going to pour this over our pork. And we are going to cook this on low for at least 8 hours. Like I said, the recipe that she called for, or that she made, called for 2 pounds of pork, and it said 8 hours. However, this is closer to 3.5, between 3.5 and 4 pounds of pork. So I'm not sure if it'll take any longer, which is why I'm starting this first thing in the morning. So let me go ahead and get this started, and we'll move on to the next thing. Alright guys, so now we are going to start working on our chocolate chip pancake bake. This is what I'm going to be using or eating for breakfast this week. We're going to start with 2 ripe bananas, and as you can see, they're pretty ripe. We're just going to mash them. Okay, then I'm going to add 1 egg. We're going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. I'm going to mix that up just a little bit here. And I like to get the bananas as smushed as I can, kind of to a creamy consistency. But there are going to be some chunks, and that's okay, because they'll smooth out a little bit. Alright, then we're going to add 2 cups of the Kodiak pancake bake. Let me show you what I'm using here. There you go. Staple in our household. And I'm just going to add a little bit at a time, get it mixed in. It is going to be on the thicker side. I think I need to get a spatula here. Hold on. Let me grab one. Try it off. Okay. Then get that stirred together. And then we're going to add 1.5 cups of unsweetened vanilla almond milk. Crash, 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 and everything today. There we go. Hide the rest of my bananas. Alright. We're going to take a 9 by 13 inch baking dish. We're going to coat it really good with our baking spray, or cooking spray. Then we are going to pour this in. Spread it out just a little bit. There's some egg. All right. And I like to sprinkle a little bit more cinnamon on the top of it. I do pour it in my hand because if I pour it from the shaker, it tends to just sink directly into the batter, and I end up with like a cinnamon lightning bolt. So I like to use my fingers to kind of break it up a little bit. Kind of spreads more evenly. Alrighty. We are going to place this in a 350-degree oven for 25 minutes. And once that's done, we will be adding our chocolate chips. So I will see you in 25 minutes. All right, guys, it has been 25 minutes. I've got my pancake bake pulled out of the oven. Now we're going to add the chocolate chips. I am using 132 of the mini Lily's chocolate chips. And we're just gonna sprinkle these on top. They're probably gonna roll all over the place because it did puff up quite a bit in the middle. We'll spread them out. There we go. They start to melt right away, so they stick fairly well. You grab how about one spoon? I'll pull these away from the edges. Doesn't really matter. Anyways, because once you cut it, the chocolate gets divided anyways, so not a big deal. Alright. We're going to pop this back in the oven for 5 minutes, and then we're going to set it out and let it cool. Alright guys, so our chocolate pancake bake is cold and ready to go. I'm going to cut this into 6 slices, or 6 pieces, and they are pretty big. I didn't cut it very even. The reason you only see 5 containers in one plate is because my Ava has decided she would like one, so I'm going to give her one for breakfast this morning. Go ahead and pull these out, one in each container. Super yummy. So when I'm ready to eat them, then I will just pull it out of the oven, pull a container out of the refrigerator, pop it in the microwave for like 30 seconds, and then it's ready to eat. I've got my containers. I'm going to fill this with sugar-free maple syrup. Let me hand that to Eva. Put some syrup on that, okay?
Yeah, it's gonna beep again, so I just opened it.
Okay. Thank you. All right, so I'm going to get some lids on these and get them in the fridge, and they're ready to go for the week. All right, guys, so we are going to go ahead and get started on the sauce for our Big Mac snack wraps. We are going to start out with 1 teaspoon of white vinegar in the bowl. I've got 1 teaspoon of sugar. I've got 2 tablespoons of minced onion. I've got 3 tablespoons of fat-free French dressing. This is the dressing that I use. I've got a 1/4 cup of light Hellmann's dressing. And then I've got a 1/2 cup of the light Miracle Whip. We're going to add a little bit of salt and pepper to taste. Then we're just going to mix this all up. There we go. And then we are going to put it in our 6 little containers to be put on our snack wraps when we put them together. I'm keeping them separate until I make them because I don't want stuff to get soggy. And I don't really mind if these are all perfectly sized the same, because I don't think I'm going to use all the sauce on the snack wraps. We'll just put our lids on these. Okay, there we go. 6 Big Mac sauces ready to go in the fridge until we're ready to assemble our snack wrap boxes. Okay, so I have my 6 containers out for my snack wraps. I've already cut up some romaine into pieces about that big and put it in there. Now you gotta bear in mind this is not a full salad. This is all gonna go into a snack wrap, or into a tortilla. So I'm not using quite as much as I normally would if I were making the salad. I've got my tricolor coleslaw. I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of this to each box. And this is just to add a little bit of crunch. Well, that's why I like it. So, not going to be tons of it in there. Excuse my messes. These are going to be some big wraps though, guys, after I get everything added to them, I'm telling you. Alright, set this to the side. I'm going to add a little bit of chopped onion. Red onion, purple onion. It's a little frozen, but I'm going to put a little bit in there on top of that for each one. And it does add some nice flavor as well. So I like to pre-chop all of my onions at the beginning of the week, so that way I just have to reach into a bag and grab them instead of chopping every time I want to cook something. Hopefully this doesn't make everything too soggy. I guess we'll find out. I don't know why it froze like this. I don't know if one of the kids left the freezer open for a minute and it thawed out and then froze again, but we're working with what we got. And I'm good with that. Okay, I have some chopped up baby dill pickles. The recipe does call for 5. I added 7 because I am a pickle freak. So, go ahead and get this added. I love pickles. But you know what though, when I cut all these up, I really forgot that I wasn't going to need as much because I'm going to make the snack wraps. So, I guess I'm going to have to eat these. I can handle taking care of those. I'll just eat the rest. I forgot. Okay. I've got some fresh cherry tomatoes. You're calling for Roma tomatoes, but I've not been able to find those. So I'm just going to cut up a few of these. Put them on top. I'll probably do 3 for each one. Alrighty. And then I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of Velveeta shreds to the top. Now the recipe does call for a 1/4 cup on top of each salad, but I'm just doing the 2 teaspoons. Okay. And we've got our sauces. I will add 1 to each cup, or 1 to each box. Okay. And then we will get our meat cooked up and get it added to our dishes. Okay guys, so I am currently browning 1 pound of lean ground turkey and a 1/2 pound of 96% fat-free ground beef. I did add 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce, as well as 1 teaspoon of onion powder. And then I'm going to add a little bit of salt and pepper. This is just to taste. Okay, now I'm going to add my 1 tablespoon of minced garlic for the last couple of minutes. Okay. Alright, we've got this cooked thoroughly. I'm going to go ahead and pull it off of the stove and let it cool down. And then we'll finish setting up our Big Mac snack wrap boxes. Alright, so our hamburger and ground turkey is completely cooled. So I am going to go ahead and fill up our last compartment in our meal prep dish. I probably won't be able to get all of this on 1 wrap, but I've got the room for it, so. Alright, and now I'm going to go ahead and take my tortillas. I'm using the Olay Extreme Wellness Wraps, and I'm going to put them in a snack-sized Ziploc baggie. All right, we've got all 6 of our snack wrap kits ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and get the lids on these and pop them in the fridge. And we will put one together tomorrow on my What I Eat in a Day video. Guys, just checking in on my roast here. Looks like it's cooking up really good. My house smells fantastic. I'm just going to pull it apart a little bit with some my forks here. Start getting it separated. All right. We'll go ahead and let this finish cooking. All right, guys. So this week for my meal prep, I am doing air-fried potatoes to go with my Big Mac snack wraps. I figured they were the closest thing I could get to French fries without actually making French fries, and I just didn't want the points this week. So go ahead and show you what I'm using. I'm going to be using 16 ounces of these potatoes that I got from Costco. They're called Little Potato Company. I will weigh those out here on my food scale in just a minute. Then in here I've got my seasoning. I'll go ahead and tell you what I've been using for that. I've got 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, 1/8 of a teaspoon of paprika, 1/2 teaspoon of seasoning salt, and a 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder. I'm going to go ahead and get my potatoes measured out. All right, go ahead and get 16 ounces going here. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and wash these off and get them cut up. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and give it a good spray with this olive oil. Going to add the seasoning. Stir it up really good so that every piece of potato is coated with my seasoning mix. While I'm doing this, I'm preheating my air fryer to 400 degrees. All right. I'm going to go ahead and toss these into my air fryer for 10 minutes. At the 10-minute point, I'm going to stir them and then put them back into the air fryer for another 10 minutes or until they're crispy and golden brown. All right, so as you can see, our potatoes turned out fantastic. I put them back in after the first round of 10 minutes at 400 degrees for about 5 more minutes. They're nice and crunchy and golden brown. So I'll go ahead and let these cool, and then I'm going to put them in the refrigerator, and we'll add them to our Big Mac snack wrap for our French fry alternative each day throughout the week. All right, guys, I am done and I am tired. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I really do appreciate y'all stopping by to see what I'm up to for this week. Please, again, make sure you give me that thumbs up. Feel free to comment down below, and please make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you would like to be notified of when I post more videos, go ahead and hit the bell button next to the subscribe button, and you'll be notified each time I post a new video. Thanks so much for your support, guys. I truly appreciate it. Until the next video, keep on smiling. Bye, guys.